I just got back from Africa. The whole thing, the whole continent. Yep. 1 second. I'll explain in 1 second. I got a phone call. Hello? What's good, bro? You in Europe? For real? What are you doing in Europe? I didn't even know you travel. Yeah, man. You know, we should go to Asia in like 2 months. That's when I'm gonna go back to Asia in like 2 months. After I go back to America. Okay, chill. Hey, let me hit you back in like 1 second. I'm making a YouTube video right now. Alright, okay, chill. Okay. Alright, bye. So earlier I got this YouTube message online, and I've seen many messages like this, and it was along the lines of Africa, Africa, Africa. Why do you call it Africa? Why do you call it the whole continent? You sound ignorant. Here's the message right here.
Jermaine, you can't mention a specific country in Europe, i.e. the UK, and then say Africa and not mention the specific country. It feeds into the stereotype that Americans think Africa is a country. It really isn't. It's a continent.
This is very true. So my response was, here's my response here.
What are you talking about? I never said where I was at. And you around here talking about Africa and Europe?
Alright, I got a little defensive there. But this is what I said, so I'm just being transparent here. I mean, this is what he said.
At Jermaine Ellis watched the video you posted, you said the UK and not Europe, and then you said Africa and did not specify the countries in Africa. Apologies if I got the wrong end of the stick.
And here's my response once again.
When someone says they're traveling to Europe, that implies that they're going to different countries. When someone says that they are going to Africa, that implies that they're going to different countries.
Is any of this starting to make sense to you guys a little bit? I wasn't done. I had something else to say.
I did say the UK and Germany. Germany is Europe. And the last time I was in the UK, people kept correcting me, saying that the UK was not a part of Europe.
So in my video, this is why I said the UK and not Europe. Because if I was going to Europe, that means that I'm going to multiple countries in Europe. For example, France, the Netherlands, and Germany. Instead of saying I'm traveling to France, the Netherlands, and Germany, I would just say, hey, I'm traveling to Europe. I guess I was a little chatty because I had something else to say.
When Asians say that they're traveling to Asia, no one pays them any attention. When white people say that they're traveling to Europe, no one pays them any attention. When black people say that they're traveling to Africa, everybody says you're a fool.
I think there's a lot of truth to that comment. Because when I always hear Europeans and white people say I'm going to Europe, and no one thinks anything of it. No one questions them. Ever. Ever. No. Even I heard black people say, hey, I'm going to Europe. No one says anything. No one even thinks twice. Yeah, you're going to Europe. Great. And I had one more thing to say.
I just got back from Africa, because I went to 3 different countries on the continent. However, if I would have only went to South Africa, then I went to South Africa.
Okay, and just one more comment from the subscriber here.
At Jermaine Ellis Gotcha, it's all good.
So basically, what I want to break down here in this video is, so when I hear someone says, yo, I'm going to Africa, I just think that they're going to multiple places in Africa. Now, a lot of times I will still ask people like, yo, where are you going in Africa? Just because Africa is such a big place. When I hear someone say that they're going to Europe, I don't really think twice about it because Europe is a very small continent. When I hear people say that they're traveling to Europe, I think nothing of it because I've traveled through Europe and I've went through 4 different countries in one day in Europe. So it's not like I'm going to France or I'm going to Germany. It's like I'm going to Europe. But when people say Africa, for some reason, it's always like, oh, you're politically incorrect. You have to say what country you're going to. But what if you're going to multiple countries in Africa, just like if someone is going to multiple countries in Europe? I think one reason why people jump on other people when they say Africa is because not a lot of people go to Africa. So people aren't used to other people saying, I'm going to Africa. One thing about the continent of Africa, the whole continent identifies themselves as Africa. And when you go to Asia, I don't hear people saying Asia, 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 Asia. When I go to Europe, I don't hear people saying Europe, 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 Europe. I hear people repping their country. I hear people saying Germany, France, the Netherlands, Spain. I don't hear people saying Europe. But on the flip side, when I go to Africa, I hear people say Africa, Africa, Africa. I see people selling things that represent the continent of Africa. I see people selling necklaces that have an African logo on it. When I go to Asia, I never ever see anyone selling anything with the whole logo of Asia. When I go to Europe, I don't see anyone selling anything that has the whole logo of Europe on it. When I go to South America, I don't see anybody selling anything that got anything to do with South America on a chain. The same with Australia. However, in Africa, I see that a lot. I see it everywhere. I see African flags, okay? And what I mean by African flag, I'm talking about a flag with the continent of Africa on the flag. I hear people saying Africa, Africa, Africa. When I hear people say Africa, I mean, maybe a year ago, I would think differently. When I heard someone say Africa, I'd be like, yo, what are you talking about? But after going to the continent many times, the continent sort of identifies itself like as one region. And other regions of the world don't do that. Like in North America, it sounds so weird to say North America because living in the US, no one says North America. Like literally, no one says North America. I'm pretty sure a lot of people watching this video are watching this video in the US. How many people have you heard say North America in the US? No one ever says North America. It's the US, it's Mexico, it's Canada, it's the Caribbean. The Caribbean they kind of group themselves together. It's like Caribbean, 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 but that's because in the Caribbean they all share similar cultures and they all live in tropical climates and they have, you know, lots of beaches and lots of palm trees, so they kind of relate together. In parts of Asia, they're sort of not together. Things are very different in certain parts of Asia. Asia is a very vast continent. You got Russia in the top, which is pretty freaking cold in the winter. You got Southeast Asia, which is kind of like the Caribbean. And then you also have places in Asia like the Middle East, which is pretty much just a whole lot of sand. But Africa, on the other hand, once again, it is different. Like there's snow in certain parts of Africa, you know, the southern tip of Africa. And there's also jungles and there's also beaches. But the continent of Africa kind of identifies itself together. So to sum this up, when you hear someone say they're going to Africa, don't just think that they're a fool, okay? Maybe they're gonna stop in Nigeria, and then maybe they're gonna go to Ghana, and then maybe they're gonna go to South Africa. That's traveling to Africa. But if I'm just going to South Africa, now if I get on an airplane and leave the US and go to South Africa and come back to the US, that's going to South Africa. But then I still am visiting the continent of Africa. This can kind of be a very, very tricky thing. But I thought I would just make a video to kind of sort of clear this up. I don't know if I really did a good job of clearing this up because I'm pretty sure I'm just going to hear in the comments over and over and over, Africa is a continent. And I'm totally aware that Africa is a continent. But Africa is a different continent versus some of the other continents around the world. Africa sort of identifies itself as one place. But then Americans, when they say Africa, 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 people sort of think, oh, you're ignorant because Africa is a continent. But believe me, Africa is a continent with more than 50 countries. And it's a very vast place and it's very, very different. And yeah, just wanted to make a video and clear that up. Hopefully this made any sense. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this in the comments. But yeah, I just wanted to put my 2 cents out there. I wanted to share this subscriber's comment. Now, I'm totally not bashing this subscriber at all. Maybe I came off a little rude. If you are this subscriber here, I didn't mean to come off rude. A lot of times when I read YouTube comments, I'm in just a different state. You know, maybe I'm just sitting down chilling. Maybe I'm walking down the street, getting on a bus. Maybe I'm hungry. Maybe who knows what I'm doing. So sometimes I may respond like sort of angry, or I may respond differently. But this comment, I totally did not mean to respond like negative, and I don't want you to think that I was trying to respond negative. But anyway, I want to wrap this video up. Let me know what you guys think about the continent or when people say I'm going to Africa. Let me know what you guys have to say about this in the comments below. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace out, yo.